Everybody, it's just a few minutes until 9 a.m. Trying to go live for those of you that got to be on point in the next 9 minutes. You're late. Why are you running late? You should already be on point. But listen, I want to do a couple things here real quick. First, I want to point out that I'm about to mail all the Christmas cards that I've taken time making them personal. I even have a personal note inside each and every one of these Christmas cards. I put stickers all over them. I'm gonna set the mic down. Hopefully you guys can hear me as I put the mic further over. But anyways, if your names are, I'm just going to read them real quick. If you'd like a Christmas card from me, text me. Find the digits; they're easy to find. But text me your name and address in the next 48 hours, and I'll get one out to you. But here's a list of the Christmas cards going out. Ready? Mr. Richard Neal, Darlene Agostini, Mr. and Mrs. Paul Pitcher and family, Eric and Morgan. You know what? I shouldn't be telling you. Yeah, what the hell? Because you probably won't even see it. Eric and Morgan Reed, Anthony V. and Lisa and family and Vonner, Mr. T. Bates, Mr. Leander Porch, Carol Neal, Ron Surgeoner, David and Patricia Doxey. I guess if you're listening for your name, you're curious if you're getting one or not. Mr. and Mrs. Chris Wilson, Lynn Sawyer, Mr. Joe Heilman and family, Mr. and Mrs. Terrence Rounds and family, Chris Miller and Brandy Reed, Michael Priestman, Deborah Toole, really, Mr. and Mrs. William Coleman and family, Star Pate and family, Mr. and Mrs. Marcus and Karen Wright, Marcus Wright and family, John Rowell, Riggs from the Sticks, and we got Skylar Bates, Stacy Davis, Janet Lombardi and family, Mike and Sherry Lombardi, Mr. and Mrs. William Crumpleman, you feel me there, Phil and Teresa Egan, Robert and Heather Lee, Janet T. Hansen. That's this group. Again, 48 hours to get me your name and address. I'd love to send you a card. I decorate them all accordingly. Each back is different, has different stamps on them, including the fronts. All the fronts have different things. I took my time, and like I say, I personalized every envelope and card for these people. If you'd like one, 48 hours to get your name and address to me via text. Hey, listen, did you know the average person laughs 13 times a day? Yeah, 13 times a day. I'm not making it up. It's my oh my gosh fact. The average person laughs 13 times a day. I did want to make sure I shared that with you because it's important to somebody, to somebody. But listen, another thing I want to cover, because I'm trying to cover a lot of stuff in a quick time, because you got to be to work in the next 6 minutes or you got to punch in, right? But it's the good and bad news I have for you. Are you ready for this? First, before I go into the good and bad news, I'll just hold it in my hand right here. The good and bad news. Pause. But before I go into that, did you see? Did you see Yellowstone? You see, I went to the Yellowstone auction that was televised last night on Paramount, and the only thing I could get, the only thing I could afford, was this hat because the auction started. They wanted 200,000 for the hat, but the auction started at $2, so I jumped in on it, and I managed to get the hat relatively cheap. $297 because Beth was standing right there making sure I paid every damn dollar I had on me. But that's that. Now the good and bad news. All right, ready? I don't know who knows Michael Altshuler. Anybody out there know who Michael Altshuler is? In fact, when I get home, I'm going to look up Michael Altshuler because Michael gave me the good and bad news for you today. And you see, the bad news is time flies, right? But the good news is, like I always say, you control your narrative. The good news is you're the pilot. So the bad news is time flies. The good news is you're the pilot. You control your narrative. You set your destination and where you're going. Nobody else does. No, not at all. You want to see something funny? Real funny? I think it's funny. Back in 1979, my first full-time job was as a taxi cab driver, right? First full-time job was actually U.S. Coast Guard. But right after that, I took a full-time taxi cab driver job. And here's my learner's permit from back then. Yeah, yeah, really. See, there's my name, Alexandria, Virginia. And this was a county permit, right? 2-digit permit number down over here in the bottom corner. And then a 5-digit permit number, 2-digit form number. Isn't that something? Look, do I still look as goofy? I didn't smile much back then. Just had that serious look. That's kind of cool. 1979, my temporary taxi cab license. I loved meeting people and driving places. I hated driving the old beat up taxi cabs because I was just a kid. I got all the beat up cars while the veterans got the nice new cars. And the tenured drivers, they also got the better routes. I had to always be listening for the dispatcher, could never listen to music, couldn't offer water, couldn't do any of the stuff I get to do in my own vehicle as I've retired and just do this 2 days a week. Folks, whatever you're doing today, do it with a smile because I can't say it enough. Your smile just might be the smile that saves the life of another person. Give it a little thought and start smiling more. Now, on a serious note, tomorrow on The Shocking Truth as I see it, it looks like Katie has an overwhelming percent of the vote. People want me to talk to her again tomorrow. So I believe that's what I will be doing, right? Live every day for the rest of my life. Did you see the sermon yesterday? My 90th sermon in a row, 90 Sundays in a row. The one thing I do every week at 9 a.m., Sunday mornings, 9 a.m. You don't even have to turn your notifications on. Just write it down somewhere. Tell Alexa or Siri exactly when you want to be reminded that I'm live. 9 a.m. Sunday mornings. Can't miss it. I try to give money away. Tried yesterday to give money away. They're for the taking. I do a Sunday morning social media sermon and I don't ask you for a penny. Not one. And not a dollar, and not 10, not 1,000. Nope. Good morning, Riggs. There he is. There's Riggs from the beach. I talked about you a few seconds ago. Actually, I was telling everybody about all the Christmas cards I'm about to mail out and how I personalize each and every envelope as well as each and every card inside as well. When I go to space, these will be collector items. I don't know that I'll be doing this next year. It depends on what kind of response I get back. And like I told people, if you want a card from me, a Christmas card, handwritten, personalized, text me your name and address. I'll get one out in the next 48 hours. After that, I'm done with the Christmas cards. It was fun. I don't know if it was more fun for me or I'm hoping that you're going to have fun receiving a card for you and for you as well. Wow, cool, very cool indeed. All right, I think I'm done. I'm here at Norfolk International Airport, just chilling like a villain, and yeah, it's going to be a beautiful day. You know why? Because I choose to make it one. You can too. Remember, smile more, pray more, worry less, and be your best. I don't know where those words came from, but they came from somewhere. Have a good one, folks. I'm out. High fiving out. I am. High thumbing out. Here, there you go. So the camera, but I always go like this, and I get it backwards sometimes. And I figured if I just go for the camera button, which I think is right there, where is the dang thing? Right there. I guess it's right on the green light. Then I can just high five out and hit that button, right, every single time. Or I can high thumb out. You ever been high thumbed? High thumb, down low, too slow. Later. Okay, that isn't working. That didn't work well. Let's try the high five again. High five. See you tomorrow. Bye bye. Yeah.